Greetings and salutations, and welcome to There's Only Now, where we are not here to teach you, I'm only here to remind you. And today I wanted to visit a thought about the pre-holiday, the post-holiday, the post-holiday energy, the energy from Labor Day and vacationing and hanging with friends and family, and then getting back into that grind mindset, or if that's a mindset that you actively participate in, getting back into that state, or just maybe resetting your energy from being around people. You know, today I'd like to visit into some of that, some three uh, profound steps to jumpstart you on a quantum level. Quantum being small, and some of these techniques and these things we're going to share today will be small techniques that have very, very large, profound effects. So that's what we're going to be going over today. I'm very excited to be here with everyone. I'm going to now start going live more often and more frequently now that time is giving me the opportunity to do so. So I'm very glad that I'm going to have this opportunity to be with you guys and to share some of this information and some of the discovery, because I believe that we are all here to be of service to one another, right? And so what I would like to do and how I think we could start some of this off is just maybe talking a little bit about some of the fundamentals when it comes to a quantum occurrence, in a which is just saying a very small level internal shift that occurs. See, a lot of the times what we are trying to do is make these shifts and changes from a macro level and not a micro and quantum level. And those see that we're looking at a big picture but not realizing they're very small pieces that created this large picture we're experiencing called life. And those small pieces are the thinking process, how we explore our own thoughts, and how we perceive our reality to be based off the things we have come to accept as an experience. And these things are the shift. But one of the most important things I'd like to share today about making a quantum shift, and number one in that step, is language. To make a shift this week, what you're going to do is I'm going to offer you this. Ask yourself this when you go to speak. Is what I'm going to say being service to me, or does it make me a victim? This is crucial. A lot of times we argue for our own limitations because we are invested in the stories of our lives, you see? And we don't realize that that investment is not involuntary or something that's just given to us by the world, but it is something that we are internally has been internalized within our psyche and is expressed through the perception of our experiences. So our language is key to that. And a lot of times we jokingly use negative victim language on ourselves because we've been sort of programmed by television and society that it's okay to poke at yourself. And and there isn't to say that there's a serious issue or anything with making fun or making light of oneself, but you have to understand when you use language about yourself being a failure, when you jokingly say you can't get things done, the mind doesn't interpret it, the mind doesn't understand jokes. It doesn't understand that. It only understands when you are emotionally responding to something, when you're in. And remember, when we say emotionally, you are, this is energy, right? That's energy. And energy is something that is in flux, in motion, right? Energy, right? Emotion, energy in motion, right? So when we emotionally resonate something, our subconscious mind doesn't view it and judge it. It doesn't say that you shouldn't think this way about yourself. On a conscious level, you might be aware of it on that level and say, wow, I'm really being hard on myself. But the subconscious mind doesn't read it in that fashion. The unconscious mind doesn't read it in that fashion. Your internal world is in the dark, and it relies on you to give it interpretation or to give it meaning to the things that are coming in on the level of a frequency. You give it meaning, and then and that interpretation is extrapolated and then given back to you and what you're calling the world and your experiences. So it's very important with our language when we speak on certain things that we say things that are in the service to us as a person and does not do a disservice to us as a person. It needs to always be something that speaks toward you accomplishing things, that you are the one that comes out on top in the situation, right? And we're going to get into the second one, right? And the quantum. And that leads me right to the second point, the law of assumption. Now, I would say from now till Sunday, give this a shot. And please come back and in the live, please leave in the comments, leave your experience with this. Your assumption on a quantum level, on a very micro, nano level, is influencing your world in some of the biggest ways because you can only experience your assumption. You can only experience your assumption. So when you assume the worst or assume that someone's going to behave a certain way because you believe you're familiar with behavior that may have shown you in the past, your assumption is all future interactions will have the same behavior. And that's not the case. Right? And it is the case when you assume it. So is with the law of assumption, just try this. Assume the best. Whatever situations you are going through this week, whatever you have coming up and you're dealing with this week, assume the outcome is to your highest good. And if you have a hard time assuming that, ask yourself this simple question. What would it be like? And then just add whatever it is you're going through on the end. What would it be like if so-and-so actually was cooperative and friendly to you? You can use this to drum up your assumption if you have an issue drumming up assumptions, but you don't, because you already are an active master of assumption, as you are already an active master of manifestation. You just don't realize that, so you're thinking that manifestation is something you have to do, not something that you are. So with the law of assumption, and with assumption, try this week to assume and attach it to what you are directly dealing with before you encounter it. Assume, if you don't have a good imagination or you feel you're one of the people that can't imagine, you don't need imagination to assume that someone's going to do and behave in a way that's in the best service. And assume it and imagine what it would be like if that assumption was true. Drum up that what if, and the feelings, because the mind doesn't know a difference, will be produced. And that's a neurological chemical that just have every neurological response you have. There is a chemical key code that it follows and is produced behind it. And some people that use the law of assumption, they don't even know it worked for them. They go, well, I assumed things that worked out, but it just went another way. It didn't work out. See, I told you that stuff doesn't work. Well, there was your assumption that it didn't work. Assume that it's going to work for you, and you will find that not only does it work for you, but it works better than you could even anticipate. Number 3 in the quantum jump is my number 1 philosophy. This is crucial. Once you ponder this to yourself, it will make you laugh because you'll have the deepest realization you've probably ever had. And this is my own. This isn't from any guru or Neville Goddard or Joe Dispenza or any of these other people out here, Elmer Locker and Tom Karen and a dozen other people out here that 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 are assisting in being of service to humanity with the way they see this. This is my own. And it's this. And when you ponder this in these 3 steps, you will find that this is a catalyst to open up many doors. Number 3, you're always right. And I know what you're going to say. I've been wrong. I made mistakes. Things haven't gone always right for me. I've done a lot of bad. I've tried many times and things just, I've made mistakes. And you know what I'm going to say? Aren't you right about that? Can you even be wrong without being right? You cannot. You are always right. But you determine the wrong and the right. You're the one that says, you're right, I was wrong. That's right, I was wrong. So the question isn't, am I right or wrong? The question becomes this, under it. What do you want to be right about? Do you want to be right that things are hard for you? The reason you want to be right is because we argue for our own limitations, because all belief is limiting. All belief is limiting. There is no exception. But we are boundless. Now, when you combine all 3 of these small, quantum little adjustments in the psyche, it create instant change. You do any of these, and you will find an instant shift. And what we're going to do in a little bit, is going to give you an amazing shift. We're going to go over the Sedona. We're going to do some Sedona, because I find it to be one of the most practical and harmonious and synergizing practices out there when it comes to letting go and really beginning to understand this thing called existence. So this is very, very crucial. We will be mindful of our language. We will ask ourselves, is what I'm about to say in service to me, or does it make me a victim? We will use the law of assumption to assume anything we walk into before we walk in will always be in the best service of everyone involved. And number 3, I will ask myself, and you will as well, what do you want to be right about? These 3 things will shift you into an alternate reality. You are constantly shifting through reality because you are in motion. You call it life. You don't live life as a picture, as a still frame. Because there is motion, this is life. And when you begin to understand that life is already happening. Life doesn't require you to fix it. Life isn't broken and flawed. These are subjective perspectives that come from separation. You have separated yourself from that which is whole. But your separation is an illusion. As a little thought experiment, just take a moment and just go within and just notice. Notice where you end and your suffering begins. And notice, which I'm sure you've come to probably realize, there is no line where one begins and ends. This is a construct of the mind, of a way we've been brought up to think about the world, but is very counterintuitive to how we're experiencing the world. This is crucial to understand. You are already whole, perfect, and complete. Abundance isn't something for you to chase after. Abundance is something that you naturally are. That's all around you by your very mere awareness of being. Is the very nature of abundance. And when you open yourself up to the possibilities, and the possibility that it's already whole, perfect, and complete. No matter how chaotic, no matter how it may appear that you are in a terrible situation. When you let go the story of that situation, it dissolves. And I tell you this from someone who has lived that very story. Someone who lost everything, who lost so many people, who believed they made so many mistakes. What I'm sharing with you isn't about putting $1 million in your bank account so you can be happy. I'm trying to, trying is failing with grace. I'm expressing to you that you are using things to be what you are using as a acceptance to an allowance of you all to experience something that's already there. Your happiness and wholeness isn't found within side of things, right? It's not found in there, okay? Your happiness is within you. It's a decision you make to enter into a particular emotional state. No particular thing possesses it. It is a choice. And when you choose happiness first, when you choose wholeness first, then all those other things are a part of it. And it won't work if you try to trick yourself into doing it so you can get the things. When you understand and embrace the truth of you, the things don't matter as much, and they show up anyway. You always have the choice to choose your own happiness and freedom, because everything around you is an illusion, construct of the mind that has been given a set of parameters to experience. You can change that. And one of the things we do today is share that with you. And to give you an opportunity to experience that now. It's something you can experience right now. It's not something that's actually going to take you 30 days to feel what it feels like. Because it's just a choice and there's only now. You're assuming what the future holds. You're judging where you think you came from. But either event can only be experienced from right. So, let's keep this in mind, because this is vital to the understanding. You are already whole, perfect, and complete. Things are not what define that. Having a lot of money, a car, or the perfect so-called SP is not what defines wholeness, perfection, or completion. That which already is does. And you are already. So, when you begin to ponder these small thoughts, these ideals that lead to grander thinking, you will immediately begin to see a shift. Your reality is directly tied to the things you're believing and thinking right now. And you can't just change your belief. You didn't choose to believe what you believe. So you must deconstruct the beliefs you have now. And there are various ways to do that. But the truth of the matter is, you can't just choose to believe another thing. The mind must let go of what it already currently is believing in order to accept another belief system. Because it's a system, which means it is designed on other parts as the archetype of you. You're not what you think you are. You're just a series of events. You've lost the sight of you and accepted yourself as a series of events. And you are not a series of events. You are the observer of those very events. So, what I like to do in this time is enter into a little bit of the Sedona method. Maybe give you an opportunity to see what that feels like so that you can actually experience it. And we're going to do a very basic, simple form of Sedona. And if you like this and you like to learn more, please visit sedonamethod.com. Hale Dwoskins has a phenomenal and is the person responsible currently for carrying on the tradition that was passed down by Lester Livingston. And there are many people like myself that have found the Sedona method and that shares it. But I'm not here to just be the guy of Sedona. I'm here to share the Sedona method with you and to also give you the opportunity to go and source this material for yourself. I am here to assist on the journey. I am here to remind you. So, How about we give this a shot? It's going to be very easy, very simple. All I need you to do is to answer from your heart, yes or no, or maybe, but just to answer from the heart honestly, and not to just feed into the story when you go to answer these questions, but just answer them, right? And if you can't say yes, say whatever comes to your heart, because this process is going to allow you to loosen up and release and let go of a lot of the things that we're holding on to. We hold on to these things because we've been taught about our minds in reverse. We've been taught that to solve problems, we have to think about them. We have to sit there and really put our teeth into things and put our minds on. This is backwards. You have to let it go. You have to allow yourself to open up. And then when you open up, that is what's going to give you that ability to actually resolve the problems, or to see it clearly, and to allow the best opportunities and the best outcomes to situations to present themselves to you. Right? So just take a deep breath. And in this moment, just be what you are. And be what you are. Be what you are. And be what you are. And simply notice what is. And just simply allow yourself to focus on the area in your life where you feel like you're having issues. And in this moment, could you just welcome that? Could you just let that be here? And to welcome is simply to allow the thoughts to be there without engaging them, without responding and trying to figure it out, and just allowing the thoughts to be. Could you just welcome it? Let it be best you can. And just check and see if there's any wanting to make it different, to push it away or pull it close. And if there is, could you just welcome that feeling, welcome that story, and check and see if it feels perfect? And could you welcome that? And in this moment, the best you can, could you just let it go? Let it dissolve. Would you let it go? When? And let's do that again. Focus on an area in your life where you feel like there's an issue. Same thing. Or anything might come. And in this moment, could you just welcome it? Let it be the best you can. And check and see if there's any change it, make it different. Could you welcome it? And check and see if it's perfect. And in this moment, the best you can, and just for now, could you let it go? Just let it unravel. Would you let it go? When? We're going to do that a few more times. Allow yourself to focus on that issue, or what's left of it, or anything that may come up along with it. And could you just welcome it, let it be here? And check and see if there's any wanting to change it. to make it different? Could you welcome that? You just allow it. Let it be. Now check and see if it feels like it's about, which it always is. And could you welcome that? Let it be. And in this moment, the best you can, and just for now, would you let it go? Could you let it go? When? And go back again. And could you welcome whatever comes? Could you allow it? And check and see if there's any wanting to change. Could you welcome it? And check and see if it feels personal. And if so, could you let it be? And in this moment, could you let it go? Let it dissolve, let it unravel. Could you let it go even more? And could you let go even more and more? Would you let go? When? And focus on that thing again. And if it's dissolving, there's only a little bit left. If it brings up something else in your mind, sight, sound, images, could you just welcome it? Let it be here as best you can. And check and see if there's anything to change. And if so, could you welcome it? Let it be here. And check and see if it feels personal. Doubt. And if so, could you welcome that? Could you let it be? And in this moment, could you let it go? Let it unravel into the great ocean. Would you? When? And in this moment, could you check and see if there's anything left in that thought you might have about things wasn't working for you? And if anything else comes up within it, could you just welcome it? Could you let it? And check and see if there's any wanting to make it different, to push it away, pull it closer. Now check and see if it feels personal, like it's a. And could you just welcome? And in this moment, the best you can, could you let it go? Would you let it go? When? And in this moment, could you just let that courageous, that awareness, that abundance that's always there right beneath the surface, could you welcome that and let it come in and fill its place as best you can? once again, go back to that thing, or what's ever left of it. Whatever thoughts, images, sights, and sounds may be there. Could you just welcome it? Let it be here as best you can. And could you check and see if there's anyone to change it, to make it different? Could you welcome that? Let it be here as best. Then check and see if it feels personal, like it's about you. And if so, could you just welcome? Let it be here as best you can. Now, in this moment, could you just let it go? Let it dissolve, fade away, unravel into the weight of it. Could you let it go? Would you let it go? When? And in this moment, could you allow that courageousness, that awareness, that abundance that's always beneath the surface? And when we speak about abundance, it's not something you have to visualize. Abundance is all around you. And if you open yourself up to it, it will reveal itself to you. So in this moment, could you just allow that abundance, that joy, that courageousness, that love, could you just let it fill its place? And I would suggest that you come back around to this a few more times. I'd love to know in the comments how that you felt, how that affected you. And I always, every time I do the Sedona method, it's always a great release for me. I always feel an adjustment within. And please, I would love for you to leave a comment about how that made you feel, how you embraced that, and some of the thinking that you might have about it. And also, please check out the SedonaMethod.com, where you can find additional information and things. Highest Vibe says, thank you. How do I maintain this high vibration throughout the week? Well, that's wonderful. I'm glad you asked that. Here's the trick. All you have to do is do the Sedona method in the mornings. Release on any feelings that you might be feeling, worries, concerns you have. Just do a quick release on it, right? And you're going to see, you're going to let all of that go. You'll allow yourself for it to dissolve and to just melt away. Also, another thing is, highest vibe, how you're going to keep this energy. If you were here for the earlier parts, we're going to use 3 methods this week. And I'm going to run them back down to you, okay, just in case you missed them. The first is, we are going to be mindful of our language. We will always ask ourselves this week, before we say things to others, is what I'm about to say in service to me, or does it make me a victim? Our language is one of the greatest dictators of how we are perceiving our reality. And we have a tendency to speak highest vibe in a way that we even jokingly condemn ourselves with our language. We could jokingly promote our own failure through our language, right? Not understanding that the mind doesn't interpret it that way. It doesn't know the difference. It doesn't understand what a joke is. That's not happening on the subconscious level. So it's very important that this week you speak great words. And highest vibe, if you want to set it off right, use the 17-second rule. When you wake up in the morning, the first thing you're going to do is this. Wow, I'm so grateful to be alive. It's so wonderful to be awake. I have a wonderful day ahead of me. I love this beautiful air. I get to breathe the air. I'm so grateful for the air. Oh, my body is working. My limbs are good. I'm feeling refreshed. I have a brand new day and so many things ahead of me that are going to go my way. You know, oh, look at the birds out there chirping. This is a beautiful day. The sun is shining. You know, it's the perfect weather. It's not hot. It's not cold. Everything is beautiful on temperature. This is what you do. 17 seconds of being grateful and noticing the beautiful part of your day, and your thought process will pick it up from there, right? That's going to get you going. Rule number 2 is the law of assumption. This is what we're using this week. The law of assumption. This is crucial. The law of assumption is your reality in action, because you are assuming everything that's happening. You say, well, it's that way because that's life, or there are no good people out there. Nobody wants a relationship. Nobody wants this. The money is hard. There's no jobs. These are all assumptions. And you're walking around experiencing them. So what we're going to do is use our assumptions in our benefit before we walk into a situation. If you are going into work and you are dealing with people that you normally do not enjoy dealing with, you're going to assume they're going to be people you enjoy dealing with. You're going to go in there and you're going to, in your mind, assume that they're going to behave and act just the way everyone needs them to act, to keep everything aligned for everyone to win. That's rule number 2 for the week. The law of assumption. We will assume the best for everything we walk into it way before we walk into it. And we are going to assume it in a way that we resonated with it emotionally. It makes you feel good when you speak on the assumption. And if you have an issue with that, all you have to do is ask yourself the what if questions. What would it and what would it be like questions? What would it be like if I went in here and everybody was on my side? And your mind will do the rest. It'll show you what it would be like. And you lay into that feeling and you assume that's the outcome. Number 3 is you're always right. That's what we're going to use this week. This is my own teaching, my own philosophy from my own experience. You're always right, highest vibe. And I know what people say. I've made mistakes. I've gotten things wrong. And you know what I say, highest vibe? Aren't you right about that? And people laugh because they are. You have to be right in order to be wrong. If you don't accept that you're wrong, are you wrong in your mind? You are not. It is not until you go, you're right, I was wrong. You are always right. So it's never a question if you're right, highest vibe. The question becomes, what do you want to be right about? What is it that you want to be right about? Do you want to be right that it's hard? Do you want to be right that you have to put extra thought into feeling good? Or do you want to be right about life is easy for you and things come easily? Money flows easily, quickly, frequently, effortlessly, under grace and perfect ways with benefit to all and harm to none. And the best part of all is I get to keep it. And we are going to imply these 3 things for the week. That's right. What do I want to be right about? Because we're right about our suffering. We're always right that we've been done wrong. But we never realize we're the ones that's choosing to be right about that. We can be right and say, I avoided a death trap. I'm so glad that this person walked out of my life because they were the worst thing for me. They did me a favor. Right? It's always how we are perceiving our situations that's dictating how we're experiencing them. Right? And this is called the reticular activating system. Once you get something in your mind and your mind understands it's what you are dedicated to experiencing through your energetic connection to it or your emotional resonance to it, then the mind is going to filter every other possibility out around you. When you leave out of your house and you're irritated and upset because you banged your toe and the coffee didn't come out right and you had to go in at 15 minutes earlier, everyone outside now is annoying. All the drivers are bad on the road, people are stupid, they don't know what they're doing, and you're faced with literal incompetence everywhere you go. Is it because the world all of a sudden became completely incompetent? No. It's because you are filtering out every other competent person around you to experience the incompetence. When you begin to understand this, then you will stop letting your mind run rampant and dictate what you're seeing. We've all experienced the reticular activating system. Someone comes to tell you you're going to pick you up in a blue or red car. You go outside early, you look on the street, and there, everywhere you look, there's red cars or blue cars. or you buy something new, or outfit or shoes, and you thinking, oh wow, I really want this. You ain't seen a bunch of people in it. You got it out of a magazine. Next thing you know, you walking down the street, almost every other person is wearing it. Did they all go out and buy it when you bought it? Of course not, right? Because all of this, everything is already happening around you. It is all being pumped out through your mind. So everything you want to experience is already around you. It's just what you're choosing to experience. You're looking for the world to show you the world. But the world is being shown to you from your belief of it, from your internal world. Excuse me. I always sneeze in like sets of threes, and lately it's been 3 or 4 sneezes at a time. I don't know. People tell me I'm very lucky. I know I'm very lucky. And the funny thing about lucky people is they know they're lucky. So if you want to become lucky, all you have to do is start telling yourself that you're lucky. Every time something good happens, attribute it to luck. You'll become lucky because you are lucky. These are the things what I'm using for this week to send people in a different direction. And this is not going to take you sitting down and dedicating 15, 20, 30 minutes to meditating. Yes, that's all beautiful. I do it every day myself. But I also understand that the mind is powerful. It doesn't need all of these things. It's called neuroplasticity. You can learn something instantly depending on how you resonate with it. But it could take you 20 years to learn something, depending on how you're resonating with it, meaning depending on how you're approaching it, depending on how you're viewing it, depending on how you're viewing yourself. This is how we learn. So this is the master key. That all these tools, they're just things you have put in place to give yourself permission to do things. There are no tools in the universe. The universe is energy. It doesn't even have a shape or form. It's formless. The stars, the moon, space, all of it, that is from the mind of man. From you perceiving energy around you and making sense of where you stand. When you begin to understand that it's as simple as a choice, you'll be able to later remove techniques and practices, tools. You don't need them. You have a dynamic, organic quantum computer built into you that you are operating from another place. You have fallen asleep, and now you think the dream is real. But you left yourself roadmaps, signs, and signals so you would always be able to wake. And I am that signal. I'm not here to teach you, to educate you. I'm only here to remind you. We are all pushing each other out. Every human being you interact with is a mannequin. And through your perception of reality and how you feel about things and people is what you're going to perceive of them as they push out onto you. And that's why you can have situations where two people are on completely two different pages, even though they're standing in the same room. They are not experiencing the same thing of each other. There is only the one, experiencing itself through the many. It is you. It is me. It is the one. And when you realize this, you'll stop jamming yourself up. Or maybe you came here to jam yourself up just to see what that's like. But the moment you let go of the urgency and the need to fix a flawless design, you get to experience the design for the flawlessness that it is. My name is Talib. This is There's Only Now. And I say to you, may this every day be a service to you.